Hey everybody, today I want to talk in the podcast about light bulbs. These types of things. In the Trump administration, there's been a lot of talk about light bulbs, and there's a lot of complaints, and there's a lot of frustration about light bulbs. And I want to go through and explain all the different types of light bulbs that we have been using as Americans since we've started. So come join me on my podcast.
Welcome to the Ben Plikerd podcast. Ben is a hardworking, fun-loving guy that loves to balance lots of plates. Whether or not he's good at it, that's another story. Ben grew up in Syracuse, Indiana, and as an entrepreneur, he has learned the right, wrong, and really wrong way to do things. Ben often says he has multiple PhDs in mistakes. Join us on another interesting story on why Ben is the way he is, what he has learned the hard way, or what a day in the life of an entrepreneur is really like. No episode will ever be the same. Thanks for tuning in.
Everything light bulbs. That's what we're talking about. I've noticed a lot of frustration over the last couple weeks as the Trump administration has been talking about light bulbs. And I grow more and more frustrated with light bulbs each and every day. And I kind of want to go through and explain my thoughts on them, how we got to where we are, and things like that. Because I feel it's important if everybody understands exactly what it is that we're talking about. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is incandescent light bulbs. Usually they're a little bit bigger than this. They're about the same size as this. But unfortunately, this is the only incandescent light bulb I could find anywhere because we phased them out so much. They're good and they're bad. First of all, this was created in like 1879 by Edison. It wasn't really adopted until the early 1900s, and so they lasted a very, very long time, considering that we're still utilizing and still there's applications that use these type of light bulbs today is pretty phenomenal. These light bulbs, you can't really see, but I'll import a picture here, that they have tiny little filaments, tiny little wires that then connect to the tip of the bulb where you've got your electricity coming in from your outlet, your light bulb holder, or however you have this wired up. I've seen a lot of different methodologies of doing this. They have been phasing these out, and in reality is they were banned in the United States for almost all applications sometime around it was early 2015 or so that these were banned completely. Not necessarily banned, but the manufacturers weren't making them, and then in 2023, basically, they didn't meet part of the Department of, which department was it? Department of Energy in July of 2023, and they didn't meet the 45 lumens per watt. These are very expensive to operate. If this is a 60 watt bulb, it utilizes 60 watts of electricity to turn on. What's positive about these types of bulbs is they're dimmable. That's just how it works. If you provide 1 watt of power, it's only going to turn on. There'll be a tiny little glow. The more that you turn on, the more that this looks brighter and brighter and brighter until you get to the 60 watts. And then that's the max. That makes that. They are a lot brighter. They have a very warm, natural light to it, which is where you get the warm light, the soft light feel in homes. This is where that comes from. And totally honest with you, in a lot of applications, for example, at my church, we still utilize these because our dimmer packs do not support dimmable LEDs. And for us to change our DMX dimmers, it would cost us a lot of money. And that's just one of those things. So I am very disappointed that Americans can't buy these anymore because I feel it should be just our choice whether or not we do it. I realize that Americans, not just Americans, but a lot of users are just uneducated about how much energy things take. And so that's why the government is trying to protect us and make it so we utilize things that cost less. So these are pretty much available anywhere, back in the day, but now they're just almost, for example, I couldn't even find one to show you as my example. So then we've got the compact fluorescent CFLs. These, they're good, they're bad. You can see they're kind of spiral. I'm pretty sure you remember this. These was developed in the 70s, but this didn't go mainstream until around the late 90s, early 2000s. And I'm pretty sure everybody remembers how great these were, when they first came out. They had different colors, so you had a soft white color and a cool color. A lot of people bought the wrong ones because they don't understand. The cool is a brighter white, and the soft is more like the old traditional bulbs of a nice soft glow to it. These bulbs, the positive thing about these are the lifespan is longer than these incandescent. The incandescents last 1,000 hours. These last 8 to 10,000 hours, which is pretty significant. The positive thing is if they were hung upside down, they would take a long time to warm up. I'm pretty sure you remember that. It wasn't immediately bright. If they were like in this in a lamp, they would be pretty instant on, but it would probably turn on to about 75% power, and then after about 3 to 5 minutes, it would be at 100% power. These only took, for like a 60 watt bulb, these would take approximately 14 to 16 watts. So going from that 60 down to 14, that's a pretty significant savings. There is not much heat that comes out of these compared to the incandescent. These you could burn your fingers on them, and growing up, I'm pretty sure I burnt several fingertips on them. But these were pretty much done away with by the early, I would say the early 15s. Everybody started moving away from them. They're now banned in the United States. So pretty much you have one option in front of you now at this point in time is LEDs. So some other cons with these are they were not dimmable. So you pretty much anything that you had that was on a dimmer switch, you couldn't utilize these. So you had to use the compact or the incandescent, which is, I mean, there's different applications for everything. And I mean, I remember in all of my businesses when these came out, I started buying these galore because it saved my energy bills, significantly saved them. The other con with these is the more that they got turned on and off, they shortened the lifespan. Wasn't necessarily the case with the incandescent, but incandescent still had a shorter lifespan the longer that it turned on and off, and the more movement on either one of these products, like physical movement, the more likely it was to break. So that's really where you are with LED or with compact fluorescent. But we're going to go into LED now, and they kind of look like this. They're soft. They're you can't see through them. And when LEDs first came around, it came out. They were developed in like late 90s, but they did not come mainstream until 2015-ish to 2020. And when they first came out, it was a clear plastic case, and then you can see all of the diodes, the LED diodes inside of there. And so like when you were close to this bulb, you could actually see the LED diodes. I bought these shortly, I want to say I first started changing out my stuff to these around the early 2010s. and we're buying these bulbs for about 20 bucks a piece at the time, and the energy savings was pretty significant. You could get these, and you could get your 60-watt bulb output to somewhere between 4 and 6 watts. So that was pretty significant. Not everybody liked the color of them, and that was the negative part of these types of bulbs. The energy savings was pretty significant. So now I didn't directly, like if I had one of these compact fluorescents and it died, I would then put an LED bulb. But I did not just take out all compact fluorescents and replace them with LED. I did not do that. So there's been some evolution in compact or LED bulbs. So you can see this. This was basically generation 1. This is generation 2. You can see it's got a clear or frosted, so you can't see those diodes. And then this is kind of like the newest version of these, and they're really good for the soft white. They even look like the old type of light with the filaments, and reality is every one of those is tiny little LED diodes, and it's just pretty remarkable to see this. So here's my complaint with LED. They say that the lifespan is between 15,000 and 50,000 hours. But I can guarantee you that that is not correct. We keep track of every one of our bulbs when we take them out of the application and wherever it is. And I can tell you that I'm still seeing these in my building, and these that we're changing out are lasting. So these have lasted like 10, going on 15 years, and these are lasting us about 2 years. And that's not under continuous use. I think that we were sold a load of crap when it comes to this technology. I think that they have made these bulbs cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and so the LED diodes, they're just really crappy diodes. But yeah, so these bulbs are not necessarily dimmable. Some of them are. They have to be marked dimmable, but they have different color options, which is pretty cool. And unfortunately now, this bulb and this bulb are pretty much your only options. They're both LED bulbs, and you have to be very careful if you get an LED, a dimmable one or not dimmable, and you have to be careful of your color. Back in the day, when you went to the hardware store and you needed a light bulb for your lamp in your house, you bought this. It was the standard color everywhere. Then the compact fluorescents came around, and some people didn't understand the difference between cool white and soft white, and so they had mix-match lamps all over their house. Nothing drives me nuts more than mix-match lamps, and when I go see them places, because in the LED world, you're still given that same option of you could get this in the soft white or the cool white, and so people don't know the difference, and lots of times when they're just seeing light bulbs that are on sale. So there's some I think that truthfully, I think if I could go back to any option, I would not go back to the incandescent light bulbs. I would not go back to these, but I would probably actually go back to these over the LED, because these lasted forever. In fact, I moved into my house like 12 years ago, and I would say that we have more of these bulbs in our house than we do LED bulbs. And once again, I'm not changing them out to go with an LED bulb. That's just going to have to get replaced in a short amount of time. So that's kind of my frustration with the government taking over, telling us what we can and we cannot buy. I realize that that these bulbs are 4 watts compared to 60 watts. That's massive. Considering I have solar panels, I understand how many watts you have to generate in solar to offset your load of your lights. I totally get that. But at the same point in time, I pay labor to change out light bulbs, and if I'm going to change out labor to change out light bulbs where these things are only lasting 1,000 to 2,000 hours at max, and these things are lasting 10,000 hours, what do you think I'm going to go with? Did it suck that these things took a long time if they were in a can light? Yep, it did. Do I have a choice now? Nope. Nope, really I don't. And that's what really sucks. And I think that that's why a lot of people are frustrated. I know that a lot of people, the more conservative people, are like, give us our choice of our light bulbs, let us choose. From the left side of the things, I can see where they say, well, they're not smart enough. They need to be educated and told that you shouldn't, we should decrease our energy usage and decrease this and decrease that. I totally understand that. But at the same point in time, if you're going to make a crap product, don't force it down our throats. That's kind of what I look at. I couldn't tell you that saved my life how many light fixtures I own. Thousands of light fixtures. And when I have to pay labor, once again, to change out light bulbs, I don't really like the fact that I'm having to change these out on 1,000. And you could then say, well, Ben, you're just buying the cheap ones. And I can tell you for a fact, we track every brand that we put in to see which ones last longer. And I can also tell you for a fact that the name brand ones are not lasting nearly as long as the off-brand ones. Why that is, no idea. But yeah, that's my story about light bulbs. Hopefully this was informative for you today. I know that it was good for me to get that off my chest and explain the whole light bulb situation and why it kind of sucks getting things slammed down our throats on what type of energy to use, what type of devices that's going to use energy. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.